I would like to welcome again our chairman, Sri Siddhanath Singh, at this forum. Sir, we have invited our overseas buyers, exhibitors, and the members and, uh, officials from different organizations like NIFT, NID, and Buying House Association is also here, sir. So our chairman Vishal Dhingra Sahab is also here, Secretary Achal ji, and all our COA members are here, sir. So first of all, sir, we would like to hear two words, very few words from you, sir, and I will not bother you, for a long. So I would like to request to address the gathering, sir. Chairman Sahab, over to you. Sir, you are muted, sir. Kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Sir.
As you know, I welcome all of you in this evening regarding this meeting, a special meeting. As our industry know very well, also our COA and whole committee and officer staff was doing best since 4-5 months regarding this virtual fair, first virtual fair. The new things for our industry and CPC also. We all are try best service through best person, Mr. What the name?
Suraj Dhawan.
Suraj Dhawanji, and
Yes.
So many people are invited. We invited and choose the Suraj Dhawan. He is doing very well, and you people are in our office, and you people are doing very well. And I hope our coming virtual fair will be success very nicely. And I think that I have seen today few hours before, and more than 300 buyer is already registered, more than 40-50 buying houses and buying agencies already registered. It's the first time is good number of the buyer and number of
सर आपका म्यूट हो गया है, एक बार अनम्यूट कर ले प्लीज. हाँ जी.
Okay. Then first virtual fair, if our people will achieve something from this first virtual fair, it will be great for our industry, for our country, for our viewer, for our exporter. It will be great achievement, and we hope great success and big achievement. Big achievement will be awaited for the next coming fair. If this fair will be success, we will announce in October last second one. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are hearing, sir.
So many sound are coming now, different type. Okay. Anyhow, Sanjay, please convey our best message for all our industry, for buyer and other things, because you know the first it may be some wrong decision or right decision, I don't know. It will be result after the fair, but we hope or with whole committee and other things, or we are trying the best service, and we hope the great success for the show and the coming show. If success will so if this success will done nicely, then we will plan for accordingly next virtual fair in last October again. Thank you very much, all of you, and we wish you great success for this virtual fair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, sir, just I would like to mention here, in fact, we have taken three words, in fact: trend, design, color, and as you are aware that trend, that is very important part of any segment. any segment, I mean, we are here for the carpet and other floor covering, but it matters for each and every segment. In fact, there was a trend earlier that any design, any color starts from Hollywood, and then comes to Bollywood, and it goes to the first Mumbai, then the first is tier city, second tier city, third three tier city, like that. But now in the whole world, the scenario has been totally changed. All the design, whatever conceived by the designers, eh, just 1 second, sir, Madam ADC. Yes, ma'am. जी मैम रजिस्ट्रेशन 1 मिनट रजिस्ट्रेशन अभी करके आपको भेजता हूँ मैं 1 मिनट में अनुज एडीसी मैडम का रजिस्ट्रेशन करके जल्दी भेजो so it happens that earlier it was percolating from each segment, one segment to another segment. But now the whole world scenario has been changed. Anything coming to Hollywood, it comes to Bollywood, and this is not the chain like that. It can come directly to the person also. And regarding color also, we have our expert, and everyone start forecasting also, and forecasting is very important, because tomorrow what you are going to get, if someone is forecasting now, you can say the person is fortune teller, but these people are designer and architects. They are really the fortune teller for the society. So keeping in the view of above, we are going to start the meeting today, and our second vice chairman, Sri Umar Hamid Saab is here. Sir, just Miss Mudita Misra, Additional Development Commissioner, is also joining in 1 minute only. So I would request you can start the welcome address by the time she will be joining. Over to Umar Hamid Saab. Umar Saab, you are mute, sir. Can you unmute? Yes.
Very good evening to everyone here. Since we CPC have organized this webinar in a very short notice, so I wish to convey my special thanks to NIFT, NID and BAA for their quick response and standing by this webinar. Special thanks to our staff also for doing a very quick presentation for this webinar. As we are all aware about this webinar, that it's all about color, trend, forecast, and design. As we know, all these three things are very important for our trade. They play a very special role in our market scenario. I hope our discussion today will help our manufacturers and exporters to assess the requirements of their buyers so that they do well in our international and domestic markets. So we CPC decided to come forward with the National Institute of Fashion and Technology, NIFT, National Institute of Design, NID, and our Buyer Agents Association, BA, to organize this webinar. I once again welcome all the foreign delegates who are on the panel today, and all my local exporters, my fellow exporters who are on the board today. And I will request Mr. Sanjay to carry on the proceedings of this webinar from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your really grand welcome. And in the meantime, Madam ADC Madam is joining. Yes, I hope she came. Just a minute. you have to bear with me for 1 minute more, 1 minute more, because I know I would like to request her for her keynote address. 1 minute more. In the meantime, I would like to request everybody, please keep mute yourself. Whenever anybody is requesting, I will allow you. You can write in chat box also, so that I can call you, so that seminar should not get disturbed, and your back noise should not come forward. And you please rename yourself, so that it should be very easy for me to call you. Just a minute. We have crossed 200 participants, so definitely it is going to be a wonderful interaction. One second. जी मैम हो गया मैम.
चेहरा भी हटाना रहा, चेहरा हटाने को बोले, चेहरा भी हटा दिया. हम समझे पहले तुम बोल रहे हो तो आवाज हटाने को, आवाज हटा दिया ना चेहरा. फिर हमें समझ में आया तुम बोले अपना चेहरा तो भी हटा दिया.
अरे विजय कपूर जी अपने आप को अनम्यूट करिए. विजय कपूर जी.
Achal, can you take control of the back? Achal, can you take control of that, or Abhi can do that? You're you're on mute, Achal.
संजय जी, can I request संजय जी आप म्यूट पे हैं आप भी. एंड अगर आप अंकित को को-होस्ट बना देंगे, वो ये मैनेज कर लेगा.
मैं बना रहा था, बट somehow just a minute. अंकित को मैं बना रहा हूँ.
हाँ, वो मतलब आपके लिए हेल्प हो जाएगा. वो
yes. आप लोग अपने से अनम्यूट ना करें प्लीज.
रिकॉर्डिंग दिखाइए आपको.
Sanjay ji, it would be good if you take control of unmuting. Then
Yeah. I have already unmuted. Okay.
So I mean, you can disable everybody's unmuting.
Yeah, that's okay. I think he's done it.
I don't want that, but I have to do that. I don't have any other option now. Yeah.
Sanjay ji, shall we start with a little bit of something?
One sec. I think Madam joined. Hello.
Please request a recording permission from the meeting host. You pretty man. It's a hacker.
Oh my God, I'm putting that in picture. Take told you being good here. No, no,
Huh? Hacker कहाँ बोझ?
you need to pause anything.
Push.
But you should run on get the bonitas to pause anything. I'm going to take them here.
Это мачи.
Вот это не становится. Let's see how much.
Doğrudan çakır.
Oh yes. किसने ये माना?
रिकॉर्डिंग हो रहा है।
Recording एक second.
तावे में वो आती बात.
Sanjay ji, you're on mute.
Okay. Now I would like to request Sri Vishal Dhingra Sahab to just deliver his inaugural address. And on behalf of BAA, I would like to request, sir, please. Yes. Now you can unmute, sir. You are unmuted, sir.
हाँ जी हो गया.
I'm unmuted.
हाँ yes. विशाल साहब, you start, sir. Madam join कर रही हैं. हाँ जी.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Good evening, namaskar, and assalamu alaikum to everybody who is present here today for this show, hosted by CEPC, our own Buying Agent Association, and special thanks to Deepak Gaba and Anchal for putting it together for all of us here. I was actually excited to meet all of you here for the trends, color, and design forecast, even though I am in this trade for so long. But in our days, 40 years ago, when we started, we had no idea, say, on the design, on the trends, on the colors. I missed that boat personally, but I'm actually honored today to see all these intelligent people here who would do it for the rest of the world. All the designing, the forecasting, putting the colors together, and all the weavers and all the designers help the weavers by putting it together for them. So I respect the designers to become the tune to the words of the weavers. And I'm really proud to be associated today with everybody out here. And on behalf of the Buying Agent Association, we feel actually happy to be representing you all over the world with the product you offer to us. I would now give it back to Sanjay ji, and I wait Mudita ji to join us and guide us as she did 2 weeks ago on another platform to us. And I will take her up again on the handloom and the carpet again to take India forward from here today. Thank you very much, everybody. And Deepak, I'll see you after the show sometime.
Thank you, sir. In fact, I am very delighted you are here. And I would like to convey to our lovely, beautiful audience that we are today evening, we are having the galaxy of experts, not only from the technical side, but from the institutional side also. And we are having the format is like that. We will be going presentation one by one, and we will start the presentation with Mr. Deepak Dawa. He will be discussing about the present trend. As I discussed, how the trend is moving from upward to downwards, and vertically and horizontally both. After that, Miss Flona Qualified designer, she will deliver her address also. Then we are having one very innovative person, Mr. Amit Jain, and he will be speaking on the innovation side. What the innovation is required, where we are and where we will be in coming future. We are having expert from National Institute of Fashion Technology, Dr. Shalini Sood, professor from NIFT Delhi is here. She will be delivering about the various design aspects and forecast. And Dr. Kaustubh Sen Gupta, Associate Professor NIFT Chennai, he is also with us. And after that, we have the presentation from National Institute of Design. Miss Bindu Rajan is here, and she will be delivering about the various color trend and others. And then of course, we are having Achal with us. And definitely, Achalji, I am not going to leave you till the end of this session. And after that, we will take the question answers, and we will discuss in detail how we are going to move ahead, where we are, what will be our effort is desired for this sector, because this sector is the champion sector of Government of India. And we are just a brief overview. We are having 35% of the world's share in the handmade carpet, and our beloved Prime Minister has given us the target. We have to achieve this target up to 50% by 2022. So by hook and crook, we have to do that. And I'm happy to share with you, except this Corona period, where all the sectors were bleeding, our sector was having a growth of 10%. And we were having the target that we are going to achieve target before 2022. But whole world is terrified with this Corona. So of course, we are also not aloof from the world. So we are also affected. So now, without wasting a single minute, I would like to request Deepak Gaba Sahab to start your presentation. I have already, allowed you, sir, for sharing the screen. You can, screen your presentation, share your presentation through sharing the screen. Deepak Gaba Sahab, you are mute, sir. Yes. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Sanjay ji.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'll not take much of time here, and just a quick introduction. I'm a member of Buying Agents Association, and Vishalji is here, who is our chairman, and Achal, who is the general secretary, and she takes care of all the coordination. And thanks to for her effort to bring together this webinar here. Sanjay ji has put in a lot of effort into this. So thanks, Sanjay ji, for getting all the panelists to here. I would jump into the presentation straight away. Just like to know how much time do I have? Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Sanjay ji, how much time would you like me to
Yes, sir. You have time 15 minutes, sir. 15 minutes. Yes.
Okay, I'll stick to 15 minutes time. Let me know if you can see the screen.
There is one correction. I have forgot that taking the name of Miss Maike. She is here. So I welcome you also, madam. And my apology for missing your name. Thank you. Yeah, Deepak.
So, Sanjay ji, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I would like to give a brief introduction about Buying Agents Association. We are the people who make business happen in India. I mean, we are the bridge between the overseas customers and the suppliers. And we have in the association more than like 100 members here. And we operate in different product categories. And I personally take care of home and lifestyle category of business. So for me, creativity is romance, and I love this romance in the carpet business. Furniture and carpet, when they come together, it's becomes an amazing story. But today I will talk about reality as we go from romance to reality from the Buying Agents Association's perspective. Romance, I would leave to Fiona and rest of the panelists who are going to talk about the creativity. So let's jump into the presentation. Carpets, indoors and outdoors. It makes space come alive. The romance begins. It's a beautiful brand from the US. Everybody knows about it, Anthropology. If we take away the carpets, the feeling goes away. So I believe this romance is very, very important. And now with the changing times, with COVID that has come in, there's a lot of, reality is getting impacted. It has personally impacted people, as we know, but professionally in the business, there are lots of challenges which have come up. And each and every business has to address that in a different manner. So I'll just touch on that a little bit as I go further into my presentation. Now, on the left side is a pretty blank my space, which I call it like, I want to read, I want to study, I want to sit. Do I want to sit in a blank space, or would you like me to bring a nice natural carpet? Or if my style is more romantic, I'll add something romance here, floral, Scandinavian, contemporary, whatever is my style, I can just create it here. So carpets make space come alive. So in this session, I'll be touching on these points. Actually, we have a pretty wide audience here, so it's quite difficult to address everybody's need. So in this, I'm going to give a quick overview about the carpet market opportunity, talking from the market perspective, the key differentiating factors on demand and supply side, types of floor covering, customer segments, then the key drivers for the business at this point of time. That 6 C's I have, that I call creative concepts and source from India and supply side risk. So these are a number of topics, but I'll just breeze through it fast, so it won't take much time. In case somebody wants to, discuss it, then we can talk about it in the question and answer session. Opportunity in the carpet business. Sanjay ji was talking about the targets which we have in India for growth. It is $370 billion business, growing at the rate of 6%. Out of that, soft floor coverings is about 30%. Resilient, non-resilient, seamless, woods and laminate. I've just put the numbers here, but I will not talk about it because these are more targeted towards commercial segment. And since this platform is for upcoming carpet fair, so I'll stick to the soft floor covering area side. Consumer journey. This is, if I go to buy a carpet or you go to buy a carpet, then we need to know what space it's going to be for. Entrance, living room, dining room, bedroom, bathroom, where we're going to put it, or maybe on the terrace or a patio. And then my style, what is it? Is it minimalistic? Is it bohemian? Who am I? Discovery. Shades that I like, shape that I want, colors, textures, patterns, and then in the end, safety. Customer segments. These are the customer segments in the market to which all our manufacturing companies basically cater to. It's a huge, huge space. Workplace, retail, aviation segment, education, hospitality, healthcare, residential, and residential performance and residential decorative. Now with COVID coming in, hygiene is becoming important. Antimicrobial is coming important. This is opening up green spaces for growth that we call. Fiona is our creative director in UK, and she coined the word green spaces for growth. So we are finding opportunity in these challenging times. And there are, believe me, there are tons of opportunities right now in professional business front. We just need to have the right creative set of people with us who can open our eyes or, send some sparks in our mind. So any area we cater to from a manufacturer's perspective, there is huge amount of business. Flooring types, in soft segment, we have broadlooms, carpets, tiles, area and accentrons, resilient vinyl, cork, rubber, non-resilient stone, ceramic and porcelain, wood and laminate. So I'll just stay with this brief info on the types. Market channels, this is a dynamic space which is changing very, very fast. And it is like, everybody knows that what kind of bankruptcies are happening in the US market and other places. Why is it happening? Because the channel is dynamic right now. The retailing channel has a lot of disruptors, and disruption is happening due to certain factors. I mentioned about the 6 C's concept, which I put together for the webinar. Those factors are the key dynamic, points that are causing disruption. Stores have always been there, but now many of them are closing down because they cannot sell. On-rail retailers, they are having amazing time. The sales in the home segment is like booming. Wayfair had amazing profits in the last quarter. Retailers, multi-channels, distributors who used to be like selling to mom and pop and boutique stores and here and there, now they have turned into retailers themselves because they have jumped onto marketplaces like Amazon and all, and they are giving huge competition to the established retailers. And then there are disruptors who are coming up with nice innovative ideas in the niches through creativity and creating disruption in the market. It's beautiful space and it's always going to grow. Carpet benefits: create your own space, your feeling, your comfort. Fibers and textures bring the feeling out. Comfort, step on it. And in fact, when I was preparing this webinar, I realized that carpet and flooring is the only thing which we are touching all the time, except when we are sleeping. Rest of the time we are on the floor. And if the floor is cold when we get down in the winters, we need something to step on. Insulation, especially in the cold countries, insulation is very important. It reduces the use of energy, absorbing sound in those spaces. Safety is a very critical element. In fact, during my research, I found out that carpets is one of the biggest factors for injuries and fatal injuries. So safety is a critical aspect. Dirt trappers, washable carpets, reducing dust coming into houses, hygiene factor now. I mean, these are all features which are going to make the business happen. These are the disrupting technologies that are coming into the trade, which will play a very, very important role in making the business happen. Easy clean technologies, antimicrobial finishes, weaves and piles. So this is, everybody knows about it on the manufacturing side. I just put it here for maybe some students and somebody who's new in the industry. So there are loop piles, cut piles, and then everything mixed with them. The purpose, the function of the carpet changes when we use different kind of piles. With the pile heights, it's more plush. If you make a cut pile, which is a little longer, that's called plush pile. Twisted piles, twisted loops. The creative people, just really love to play with it. And they mix the yarns, dye the yarns differently, thin and thick yarns, and create magic out of it. So then there are techniques like braiding, panja, hand tufting, hand knotting, hand loom, and pit loom. So my friend Amit is going to speak a little bit more about this area, so I'll jump from it. Demand side differentiators. Regulatory standards are very important here in the carpet industry. If there are creative people here who want to get online, say buying products for online, who do not have understanding on the carpet standards, must. It's very important to know. Product performance standards, very important to know. Creative is a big differentiator. We need to know what the customer segment is, who we are going to cater to. In fact, one of my friend from Germany, last we had a webinar on EPCH. She was talking about a limbic approach, which is about understanding the psychology of your customer and then creating the product branding and the product assortment catering to that. So this will be, I guess somebody will touch on that, this topic later on in the webinar. Branding and story. marketing, sales, and distribution. All these factors on the demand side or the customer side are the key differentiators. And if I talk about the supply side, which is, let's say, Indian manufacturers that we are focusing on now, finished product suppliers and exporters, the capabilities and the capacity competence in the factories. We have a lot of manufacturers here who are expanding, who are setting up new technology. So India is turning into a big base. CEPC Textile Fair is coming up, where you'll get to meet a lot of manufacturers and exporters. Raw material supply in a country like India is abundant. Wool, cotton, jute, lots of natural materials, and now even PET, which is recycled and reclaimed PET, which is eco-friendly as well. That is also there. So huge supply of raw material, craft, the art, the heritage that we have in India. It's amazing, and making use of that heritage and the history and bringing the art out. Creative people know how to do that, and that's a big differentiator here. Machine and technology, which is the science behind it to make it happen, and creative capability to meet what the customer is expecting. Regulations on the social and environmental side. So these are the key core differentiators on the supply side of the business. Key drivers, 6 C's, which I think make or break the business. Creative, knowing the design, fiber, weave, and technology. Craft, whether it's handmade, handloom, or machine made.
Deepak ji, you have 2 minutes more.
Okay, sir. Craftsmen, India has got abundant craftsmen, the art, it's job of the government to ensure that these craftsmen are protected and the craft is protected, because lots of machines will come, lots of essential and basic products will come, but the crafted product which India has to offer will die if we don't protect it. So that's very important. Channel, ease of buying an experience. This is on the customer side, the channel of distribution, the ease for the customer to buy, customer experience, which we call, like in our tech language, we call it CX, which is customer experience. It is enabled by technology, AR, VR, and different technology which is coming into play, and especially in these last 3 to 6 months, the way the digitization is happening in the whole sales channel is a huge disruptor. But in the end, while we are in business, we should make sure that we care about the humanity and the nature, the people involved, the resources which we are using. So we are using with care. Source from India. These are the production centers that are producing carpets. There are some more, but I just listed here. And you'll find vendors from all these in the upcoming trade show from CEPC. Make in India, because there is raw material supply, we have craftsmen, creativity. If the international buyers are bringing the creativity, we have the capability to convert it to meet their expectations. Sustainability, sustainable fibers are there, low MOQs, and the most essential, care is there. Care for nature, sustainability. This is a very big driver now. I was looking at Mohawk, which is one of the most, one of the largest floor covering company in the world. They have brought sustainability out as a channel for sales. Everybody talks about sustainability. It's a funda, it's a gimmick, but if you adopt sustainability in the right manner, it's there to stay. People are conscious. So if we are creating essential products or curated products or signature products, sustainability, if we built into it in our thought process, it will help. So in PET products, we call it circularity, where we can reuse the plastics and PVCs, using renewable resources, recycle, used and remnants, fabrics and materials and yarns, and then the bio, which is natural and organic sources of raw material. While we care for feeling and function, it's the biggest space that we are talking about, floor covering, huge business.
Conclude, Deepak ji, please.
Okay, sir. So we have to find growth by remaining conscious of the environment and taking care of it. So with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Here's the contact if somebody wants to get in touch. And now Fiona is going to take over from here and talk about the creative aspect. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Over to you, Fiona.
Thanks a lot, Deepak ji. In fact, I would like to welcome our overseas buyers who joined little late, and our COA members who are also here. I'm really thankful to you, sir. In the meantime, we are having dignitaries from different institutions like Indian Institute of Packaging, Director Tanvir Saab is here, IICT Bhadoi, Director Alok Kumar Saab is here, IICT Srinagar, Jubair Saab is also here. So definitely, Deepak ji, what opportunity you have seen. Our Prime Minister also said in the similar way, we are looking at this Corona period, our opportunity. And in fact, COVID has given us opportunity also. Now we are focusing more on our, home. We can see if you are spending more time at your home, and the decor definitely you are going to change. So this is the, demand of the current scenario, in fact. And of course, India is the, one of the best sourcing destination in the world. So definitely people are taking benefit of this, and our sector, of course, whole world is looking on India regarding the areas, because we are having diversity in all fields, color, design, trend, and everything. So now our next speaker, I would like to request Miss Fiona Collifield. She is designer of 3S, and she is having vast knowledge of about this sector. So I would like to request to hear from Miss Fiona. Kindly unmute yourself, madam, and welcome to this panel.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the welcome. I'm hoping that you can all see my screen right now. Are you able to
Yes, of course.
The cover sheet? Fantastic, great.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll move ahead into my sort of very brief presentation today. So a little bit about me. I'm based in the UK, and I've worked in UK retail for the last 25 years, working in product design, product development and buying. And really the whole focus of retail at the moment is about looking ahead, thinking about what's new, what's needed and what's different. So what I'm going to cover this afternoon is looking at trend directions, and then as Deepak talked about in his presentation, what are the green spaces for growth? Where can we move forwards into something new and different? So moving straight in then, if we can.
Yes,
okay.
yes, yeah.
So I'm going to touch on 4 different points today. So the 4 key areas for product development within the carpet and rugs and floor coverings category. The first is all about health and wellness. The second is all about sustainability. The third is about interior design styles. And the fourth is all about fresh ideas that we're calling green spaces. So we're going to look at each of these in turn as we go through. So the first then is all about health and wellness. So as we've all experienced throughout COVID, we've all experienced spending prolonged periods of time in our homes. And I think the key point here is to say that, my home is my really safe place, and it's the one place that I need to keep it safe. And to do that, I need to keep it clean, and I need to make sure that I'm looking after it. And by thinking carefully about our floor coverings and the surfaces that we use, that's one of the best ways to keep our homes clean. So a lot of the trends that we're seeing in the marketplace now, and that so many of our manufacturers are really excelling at, is about antimicrobial treatments, looking at ways that we can combine dirt trapping into floor coverings so that it locks in the dirt and doesn't bring it into the rest of the home. And other ways of doing that is through the use of stain guards. So this is a really important part of first and foremost making sure that our products are safe and purposeful. But I would say this is not a trend. This is becoming business as usual. This is becoming the absolute sort of primary requisite of what a customer is looking for when they're shopping for floor coverings. So they now expect it. It's no longer an added extra. It's a basic expectation. So the next point, building on what Deepak was talking about, is all about sustainability. And yes, materials and manufacturing do really matter. And I think most customers now are becoming ever more demanding of the products that they buy. Where have they come from? What are they made from? What processes have been used to manufacture them? And they're asking those questions, and they're expecting really truthful, honest answers. So just as Deepak said, anybody can talk about sustainability, it's easy, but whether you live it, believe in it, can deliver on it, and can take the customer on your journey is the big challenge going forwards. So there's just 4 sections here that I'm pulling out. There are many, many more, but I think 4 of the key drivers are, as I've indicated on my sheet here. So the first is all around provenance. Provenance is about the story that you can tell. What do you have to say? What does the product mean? Where's it come from? Who's made it? And there is no better place in the world than India to be able to share that story, because it's based on a skill, a craft, artisans working together to bring skills and craft into beautiful products. And I think it's something that Indian manufacturing can do a lot to show the world how we can talk about our products with more credibility and deliver that provenance to market. The second point then is all about waste and waste management. And just as Deepak was talking about circularity, it's about closing the loop on the effects of our production. So whether that's about how the processes we use in the factories, or whether it's the materials and the fibers that we use to manufacture, it's about closing down that loop and minimizing the destruction that we could cause to the planet, and making the most that we can out of the products that we've got available. And that may well be utilizing a lot of the waste that we might have in the factory. Picked up an example here that reminds me of my childhood. I grew up in Ireland, and my grandmother taught me how to make my own rag rugs. And they were made out of all of the old offcuts of fabrics and bits and pieces that we had in our home. That's really what manufacturing needs to be now on a huge scale. How can we take what our factories are capable of producing, and how can we use every single piece of it so that there is no waste? The third point is about PET, or anything that allows us to upcycle, reuse, recycle, any of those sort of hot buzzwords that are widely used in the marketplace now. But if we're going to use any of those materials, it's really critical that we understand their traceability, we understand where they've come from, and we understand that they are that they carry efficacy, and that they really are what we're claiming they are supposed to be. The fourth point, I'm just going to touch on something a little bit different. It's not a floor covering, but it's something that's really captured my attention. And I've termed it as an eco-innovation. And I think this is what sustainability requires us to do. It requires us to think big and think broad. So I just want to share with you something that I've discovered, and it's by a fantastic company called Swedish Stockings that make hosiery. And what they've realized is that hosiery is one of the most, let's call it, evil players in the market, because of the material it's made from. It is not biodegradable, it is a petroleum-based product, and unfortunately it's just going to sit on the Earth's crust forever and a day. So if you work in this industry, it's not about stopping production of hosiery, is about getting smarter with the product that you make and thinking, okay, once we've made this product, what's its secondary life, what's its third life, and how can I keep that circular economy spinning round? So Swedish Stockings have introduced an amazing format whereby whether you buy from them or you buy from any hosiery supplier in the world or retailer, once you've worn the hosiery, and many women only wear them once, then you can return them to Swedish Stockings, and then they repurpose them and they make them into something new. And this is an example of some furniture that they've made, and they are grinding the hosiery down, they're mixing it with a new composite, and they're producing furniture out of it. And I think not only is there an amazing marketing message attached to that, but there is just something that is very sustainable and very future-proof. And I think every industry in the world needs to look to see where the loop needs to close in terms of their manufacture, and where they might need to join up with forces with other companies to actually continuously repurpose their products so that there is no end. So then moving ahead, I want to look a little bit at interior design directions. Now I could talk about this all afternoon, very passionate about it, but I just want to pick up on a couple of different points in terms of where I see developments going in the future. And there are four points here, and I'm just going to take you through each. Is all about nesting. And again, you know, we've all spent prolonged periods at home, and we are very conscious of how important our homes are. And I think with that in mind, you want to make your home as cozy as possible and as safe as possible. So there is a lot of focus on layering products into your home. Now, typically when we look at a rug or we think of a rug, it's usually a single purchase. And by definition then, if you manage to persuade a customer to buy one of your products, then they're just going to buy one. And generally, to fill an area, you get the transaction of a single area rug. Now, what I've seen in the market is actually, as part of this nesting trend, it is a whole trend now to layer rugs on top of rugs or rugs on top of carpets, up even more cozy nesting features within your home. So the way that we're looking at this is, instead of just designing and developing one rug, why not design and develop a whole collection that all work together, mixing fibers, mixing materials, mixing colors, mixing patterns, but actually building a collection that all layers together. And I know each and every one of us in the industry would love to sell 10 rugs rather than one. So I think this is a really interesting trend to consider as we move forwards. The next trend then that I want to talk about is all about 3D relief. So it's about really looking at a lot of the techniques in the industry and how to use all of them.
Ms. Fiona, you have 3 minutes more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how to use all of the different techniques in the industry, whether that be fringing, tufting, using the different 3D qualities, and in many cases, putting them all into one product. And I think this is a really interesting opportunity to explore. The third area is all about colour. Is never going to be as big as it is right now. We've lived through the greyest part of our lives, and we are all now needing some flourish of colour to come and cheer us all up. And so there's a lot of take from this sort of colour pop, the whole sort of maximalism, so more is more. For many years we've talked about Scandi living, which is all about paring back and being natural and reducing colour. But this trend going forwards is all about layering more and more and more colour all in together. And so one of the best ways to do that is on a rug, and we're really terming this wall art for the floor, and you can have so much fun with it. Instead of putting all of your wall art on the walls, why not be experimental and put all shapes and sizes and colours onto the floor? So then the final area I'm just going to touch on, this is my last slide, I'm just looking at new categories for growth. And as Deepak talked about, we are focusing heavily on outdoor as a leading initiative. There are obviously plenty of outdoor rugs out in the market, but I think many customers are still coming to terms with how to use it, especially in countries like where I live in the UK, where we have a lot of rain, a lot of cold weather, and customers need time to be convinced that actually that is an all-weather product, and it will stand up to all of the elements. The second theme that we're looking at in detail is around home office. And there's a product that I'm particularly familiar with in the UK market called the Rug Buddy. And that's a heating element that you can put in underneath your rug. And especially in the wintertime when your feet get cold and you're no longer in a large air-conditioned or sophisticated heating system in a shared office, you might be working at home and you have to keep your own home office space warm and cozy. So being able to use smart products to actually keep your rug warm and to help keep your feet warm while you're working, I think will be a great invention as we go forwards. Two other areas that we're really focusing on is all around pet products. So one of the key areas here is where a lot of products, they're very functional, very purposeful, but I work in interiors and I really don't want a very dull grey or brown pet product in my home. So we're busily developing all sorts of innovative pet products, including pet rugs and everything for your pet on the floor, from dirt trappers all the way through to rugs to keep your pet warm that are suitable, colourful and playful. And then the fourth area as part of categories for growth is all about craft. And this goes back to really celebrating what India is all about. It is a nation of artisans, it is a nation of colour, and it's a nation of skill. And I think one of the key areas that can be celebrated through is in the floor covering category. And we're already very excited about a lot of the developments that we've got going on at the moment. It's a very short, very sharp presentation, but hopefully I've come in just about on time. So thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Fiona. In fact, it was really very nice presentation, wonderful, I can say. And you have touched the points where what is required for nowadays. You have touched the point of health. Now, since childhood we are reading this health is wealth. During the corona period we realized really health is the biggest wealth what we are having here. And definitely eco-friendly things you have said. This sector is predominantly almost 100% eco-friendly only. And the concept of home office, what you have put it, really this is very contemporary for this COVID period. So really we are very much enlightened with your presentation. In fact, I was just scrolling in the meantime. I saw some of my media friends also here. So I welcome you, sir, at this forum. And now, again, my apology to Mike Steven. Mike, I forgot your name last time. So we are, after USA, we are having the maximum export is going to European Union. So Miss Mike Steven, she is from Carpet Magazine, Germany, and she is going to deliver about the European trends, which is very important for our sector. So I welcome you, Mike Steven, for your presentation, please. Mike, over to Mike Steven. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm muted now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'll now start with my presentation. I'm very happy to be here at short notice. I prepared a little something which isn't very elaborate, but I hope it will be helpful. I'll just try to share my screen with you in a second. Hang on.
Yeah.
I think this should be it.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And now I need to start the presentation. What you see now is the carpet trends in Europe, is it?
Yes.
Okay, super. I'll start talking. First of all, I'm Maike Steven. As you said, I'm from Carpet Magazine. I'm an editor there. Carpet Magazine is an international business magazine for the carpet retail trade. We're based in Hamburg, in Germany. And the magazine is published bilingually in English and German, both in the same magazine. We have 4 issues per year. The next issue is due in October. And you can, hang on.
You can go to PowerPoint presentation mode.
Yes. Okay, I'll try that in a second.
Yes.
Do you see the next? Can you see the next screen now?
Yes. We can.
Yeah, I was going to show that earlier actually. Okay, and you can subscribe to the newsletter for free if you like. I put that in the bottom left-hand corner for you. That's us. Okay, the next. Okay. Okay, now I'm in PowerPoint presentation mode. Let's see how it works. Okay, carpet trends in Europe. First of all, we decided to look at the retail business side of the matter, which has been strongly influenced, as you both all said, by COVID-19. And generally, Corona is hitting businesses and people hard, of course, but somehow, as you also said, the interior decoration businesses seem to be comparatively well in Germany. People are spending more time at home, as you said, and are more interested in making their homes look good. So there's what you, Fiona, call the nesting trend coming back. We call it the cocooning trend. People look around their home office places and go, oh my God, it's not looking so great here, so something needs to change. And since they're all working, or most of them are working from home anyway, they're also ordering from home. And this is where the winners, the big winners in the retail trade come in. basically all retailers are pretty much profiting from the cocooning trend, but the big winners, in our opinion, is one of them is e-commerce. And there are also the DIY type stores who really profit strongly from the lockdown phase, because they were the first to open after the lockdown. Germany started opening the DIY stores, and people were so bored they wanted to go shopping. They were all running to the DIY stores, buying paint and painting their rooms, and discovering that there are all other things to buy, like furniture, which is where the furniture stores come in, which next opened next. And even high-end interior decoration stores seem to be profiting from this period, but it remains to be seen. Well, definitely e-commerce is going really well, and the DIY type stores. There's one sector that is having difficult times, which is the contract business, or especially the contract business catering to hotels, because apparently people are not really going on holidays that much, and hotels are not really booked out. New carpets don't really need to be bought there that much. Okay, next I've got popularity by carpet type. Apparently there are different types of carpet. And the carpets that are doing well at the moment that pretty much depends on, it's pretty closely connected to the retailers that are doing well. And as I said, the online trade e-commerce is doing very well. So carpet-wise, machine woven carpets. There are weird lines appearing on my presentation. I don't know where they come from. Anyway, I'll just keep talking. The machine woven carpets are doing very well because of the online business, because they are affordable, they look good, they are photogenic. There's one particular kind of machine woven carpet. It's the very fine high-end pyre carpets that are being made in Turkey predominantly. And there we think they are a bit competition for hand knotted carpets, because they look so good, and machines can do very much, developments are very, very good in this area. So it's really, yeah, it's a big competition for hand knotted carpets. Flat weaves, machine made flat weaves are also getting more interesting and artful. But one type of machine woven carpets we see is not being that strong anymore. It's the shaggy style carpets. They used to be big a couple of years ago, but they've pretty much gone out of fashion, we think. There's another very strong product area we see on the market. It's hand woven flat weaves, and by these I don't mean hand loom carpets, but flat hand woven carpets, mostly made of thick wool yarn. They're very, very popular in Germany. Many of them are made in Europe. They're also made in India. And they're popular because they kind of bridge the gap between cheap machine-made carpets and expensive hand-knotted carpets. They're a bit more expensive, but they're affordable and they're handmade. And they are often custom-made. And you can get them in exactly the size you need for your room, and you can get them pretty quickly. They have a natural look, and mostly natural materials are being used. They're the hand loom carpets I just mentioned. They were the cutting edge product of the last few years, and they're still growing, we think, but not as much as they used to, because they too get very heavy competition from machine woven carpets. And they are also a bit more difficult to transport because they're heavier. Then there are the hand knotted carpets, and we don't see traditional patterns doing so well here, like the Indo-Bija. That's kind of gone out of fashion pretty much. We see better chances for modern designs. And that's not a typical product to be sold online, but it's getting sold online as well. Plus, I already said that shops are opening and people are going to the shops, so there are chances here. About trends and colors and designs, a lot of interesting points have been made, and I'm not sure whether I can actually add to those, but I'll see. Basically, what we discovered is the more expensive the carpet, the less colorful the look. Like if you get very expensive carpets, people tend to go for 50 shades of gray and beige and very subtle styles. And with cheaper carpets, people like it more colorful, or they're more daring and and experimental, because you don't take that much of a risk if you don't pay so much money, obviously. On the whole, though, we're really happy to discover that carpets in Germany and Europe are getting more colorful, which is what Fiona just said. And yeah, we're really glad to see that, because we're kind of getting a bit bored with all the grays and beiges. But it's still, in Germany, it's still a bit subdued. It's still a bit pastels, ochre, burnt orange, warm reds, earthy colors. Designs. Designs, we're not so sure, actually. We kind of spotted all kinds of trends or non-trends, and all kinds of things, like large flowers we've seen a lot, animal skins on geometrical patterns. Pretty much anything goes, or a lot of things go anyway. What we also spotted are printed carpets. They're pretty much coming up, machine printed or also hand printed. And we're not sure whether carpets in non-typical shapes might be a trend. We've seen more circular or irregular shapes recently, as opposed to rectangular shapes. And of course, texture, as Fiona has also said, up and high-low pile, and texture gets things happening on the pile. If you want a simple carpet, if you don't want that much color, you still get the texture to make the carpet interesting, especially if you prefer the more subtle style. Material-wise, softness is very important. There's a lot of sitting on the floor going on, and of course you want the floor to be soft, you want the floor to be healthy, environmentally friendly, non-toxic. And the environmental and social issues have been mentioned just now. So I'd like to underline that sustainability is very important, and social responsibility. There was a film on child labor in India on German television a while ago, and it was very ill-researched, and part of what was being said was not true, but people kind of took that up anyway, and so people are asking about working conditions a lot, so that is very important. Other aspects have also been mentioned: dirt resistancy. The carpet should be easy to clean and hard wearing, or comparatively hard wearing anyway. And there's one challenge we see for the handmade carpet industry, which we really like and support at Carpet Magazine, which is that machine woven carpets are getting better and better, and the handmade carpet industry needs to kind of think of something to compete with them. And therefore we thought, it would be important for handmade carpets to be obviously handmade, to be something that machines cannot copy, which is difficult because machines seem to be able to copy anything these days, but that is really the challenge, we think. And also, yeah, probably telling a story, as Fiona just said, of the background of where the carpets are being made and all the culture that kind of goes into them. So this is my presentation, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Miss Mike. In fact, it was very enlightening, and what I can say now, what I have started with the fortune teller. Our designer are the fortune tellers. So you read the psyche of the people mind, what they are looking for, and if you will be able to let us know now, we can get prepared for them for future. Really, it was in fact you have touched the several points like the shades of the carpet, 50 shades. It is moving trend, is light to colorful, traditional to modern, and the design. And really, it's all very informative and it's very useful for us. And you have touched about the e-commerce part. Of course, it is going to be our part of the life. In fact, e-commerce is going through e-commerce. We are going to achieve more. And in fact, Government of India is also putting, forward in this regard, and they are going to do something so that our people can get used to customize to e-commerce also. Regarding social responsibility, you have touched the point. I'm able to answer you. In fact, our people are really did the commendable job. They are fulfilling all social responsibility. We are doing the social welfare for the artisans, their family. We are running schools, health camp, and in fact regular checking of these looms also. Carpet Export Promotion Council is doing all this job, and we are running 80 schools. In fact, more than 500 schools has been run by this organization. So I'm really thankful to you, Miss Mike. And now the era is for innovation only. Whatever you are going to innovate, that will matter only. Copy, you have said, machine made people are not able to copy this handmade. Of course, there is no alternative of handmade. Handmade people are more innovative. So our next speaker, he is going to touch the point, Mr. Amit Jain, on the innovation only. So may I request Mr. Amit Jain? Amit Jain is MD of Sri Sai International. So Amit ji, you have time 8 minutes for talking about this innovation. So please start your presentation. Amit ji, welcome to you. Yes, you can close this presentation, Miss Mike.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Amit Jain, you unmute yourself. Yes. Unmute. Yes. Amit ji, over to you.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Buying Agents Association, Mr. Vishal ji, and other members. Thank you very much, and my fellow exporters. I'm very much thankful for this. I will just start with the part innovation. So basically innovation, it's a very old saying, like change is inevitable and so is the innovation. Carpets were considered as a luxury decor products, but now they have become essential part of living spaces. In the past many years, there has been an evolution through continuous innovations in our handmade industry, in carpets. Like any other business, innovation is the key factor for sustainable growth of our industry. Innovation is not limited to designs. So I have classified the process into 4 pillars, wherein it plays an effective role. So these 4 pillars which I have divided, these are material, weaving, finishing, and design. So first, let's talk about material part. So material like traditionally carpets were made with silk, wool and cotton. And over the years, wide variety of yarns were introduced. Man-made fibers like polyester, acrylic, viscose, and many other fibers. In recent, there is a lot of focus on naturals and sustainable fibers by the conscious international consumers base, which has led to the development of products with blends of jute, with wool, cotton jute, polyester wool, and many other kinds of blends. Outdoor rugs and carpets were created using various combinations with man-made fibers. Certainly, like engineering on materials is utmost need for the industry at the moment. And we all are working towards creating materials which are durable, low on cost, and are caring for human touch. Some new trending materials may be like banana fibers, linen, coconut, and other plant-based fibers and their blends. Deepak ji, sorry.
Please mute yourself. Except a speaker, no one will unmute. Yeah, carry on.
Okay.
Carry on.
So recycled materials like cotton, PET, denim, and tire tube, leather, these are also worth mentioning into this. And combination of various thread counts for giving chunky look is most essential. Like this is the new thing which is coming up, and we already are doing all these things. So certainly now the next part which comes is the weaving part. Like in carpets earlier were made by hand knotted and flat weave techniques. And then by the innovation of various looms, hand loom, hand tufted, and carpets and rugs were made. The latest edition of machine tufted carpets played a vital role in the industry by reducing the cost of production and affordable for the clients to buy. This new innovation in this section will be combination of weaving patterns, creating new weaving methodology and creating the structures of natural like wooden grains, tree barks and all like these would be the new things which we can do in the weaving. And to the last part of my process is finishing. Finishing is a very important process which we follow as like earlier. This is the focus area like of anything. Like earlier we used to do with normal washing of hand knotted rugs. In past many years, various innovations were made and normal washing was converted to multi-look, like antique wash, vegetable dye, tie-dye effect, and all these things. Printing on carpets were done, and off late, like digital printing is being done on carpets, and it's a new rage. These are some new finishes which can be like embroidery and applique. Work like over applications will give a completely new look, like adding the fringes to additional fringes to the carpets, making artificial fringes, making something like this. This would be a new look. Fashionable and like fashionable applications like hand painting can be done for niche and richer look. It should be like multifunctional. It should be sustainable for sure. That is the thing like which is required. And now comes the design part. For design parts, I haven't mentioned anything as such, but the thing is like at the moment, we are certainly like the design is changing every time. Like lots of innovations are happening. Earlier carpets were made from 6-7 colors. Some fixed color palettes were there and like they were made from some fixed design patterns. But now like work on design trends and forecast, it's happening a lot. And now we are working on designs for every season, not for a year, but for every season we are working. Like we have fellow panelists who will guide us through new design trends and everything. But certainly the need of designers, the need of people are coming up. like
last 1 minute,
we have
Amit ji.
Photoshops. Like we can use the design, other things like Photoshops, Illustrators, and there is a Galicha software which is very innovative and good to make the carpets. So that's all from my part. I will hand over to you, Sanjay ji. And
thank you. Thank you, Amit ji. In fact, I'm really thankful you have finished your presentation before time, in fact, you know. So we all have to adhere to the time. Thank you. Thanks a lot. In fact, you know, in the last Varanasi fair, I have seen one stall. You know, he was showcasing various type of natural fiber, which even we can't imagine that carpet and rugs can be made from this. So I have seen the pineapple, water hyacinth, and others. And the person was from West Bengal. Really, we appreciated him. He was in Mumbai also, and he is also here in this event. So I would like to mention the panelists. Our people, whatever you have shown in the presentation, we are having a variety of the product, different color, design, you know, what Miss Mike also, you know, to say, all things can be seen here in the virtual event, which is going to start from 21st of this month, means day after tomorrow. So I was in fact going to each and every stall. I was able to access, because one exhibitor can't see others, but I can see everybody. So I saw the various, you know, variety of the products displayed here, and of course that is going to meet our buyer requirement, you know, and people have worked very hard for this event. So now, you know, we are all, you know, I can say pandemic is over. I can say why I'm saying pandemic is over, because we have to live with this pandemic and we have to fight with this pandemic. So, you know, we don't have any other alternative. So now then we are having the next presenter from our one of the premier institute, National Institute of Fashion Design, NIFT, you know, which has produced, you know, many designer, you know, who are at the world fame now. And, you know, we are having two lovely distinguished professors from National Institute of Design, Fashion Design. So Dr. Shalini Sood Sehgal, she is professor in NIFT Delhi, and Dr. Kaustubh Sen Gupta, associate professor NIFT Chennai. So both are with us. I would like to request Shalini ji, please unmute yourself, and we are eagerly looking for your wonderful presentation. But you have to stick your time. Both of the presenters have to stick within 30 minutes. So I would like to request over to you, Shalini ji. Yes, unmute yourself. Try, you can do that. Yes, yes. And Kaustubh ji also, you unmute yourself. Yes, both are here. So over to you.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Good. So we are here. There are two of us here from NIFT, my colleague Dr. Sen Gupta, and I am Shalini here. Both of us, just a little bit about ourselves. We've been with NIFT for a long enough time, over 20 years. And we today represent Vision Next. It's a project by NIFT, which is looking at, under the mandate given by our Honorable Prime Minister. He gave us this mandate that he intends to see the whole world of trends emerging from India, and that creating its own language, which existed long time ago, but in between we seem to have kind of not gone further with it. So with that mandate, we presented and we put together this entire concept, and we've had a lot of support from various segments on this. Ministry of Textiles has been our biggest supporter in this, and we've had the support of all the councils, and CPC being one of them here as well. So what is this Vision Next all about? Quickly to tell you, this is actually a unique AI-based system that is going to be developed through integration of big data, machine learning, data science, which will also integrate human intelligence. The idea is to predict fashion and cross-industry trends for this country, by this country, so that we can look at what is happening in our country and have a kind of close-ended feel to it, you know. The other aspect of this trend insights and forecasting lab is eventually it intends to give mega trend directions and futuristic insight reports, which will look at the entire diaspora of complexity that we have, the anthropological insights, which are specific to fashion and lifestyle, with the potential to map long-term consumption patterns and mindset change. Every speaker has been talking about the plethora and richness of what exists here in terms of skill sets, design, color, the entire vocabulary that exists. And the whole idea of Vision Next is to put it all together, to curate it, compile it, and present it not only to our country, but to the world. And this is where we come in here as a team that is heading this project, Kaustav and myself, and along with YNIFT, because simply we are in 16 campuses, 16 states all over the country, and we carry that strength and that potentiality to go deeper into it and reach you know, multiple areas and arenas with our avid, enthusiastic, trained trend spotters in all these campuses. In addition to that, Kaustav and I bring on board many years of experience in terms of consulting with brands over trend consultations and in terms of insights that we have been working with a lot of organizations. So this is a glimpse of what we are bringing forth to you. I will hand it over to Kaustav, since Sanjay ji has been very strict on time and we have limited time, so I know what you're here for. Rather, we give you the presentation here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini, and thank you everyone to be here, be patient for this presentation. Let me move in faster. I feel like a student sitting in front of the jury members to finish the presentation on time. Allow me a few minutes if I have exceeded, because it's a trend presentation. Yeah. So this is a very quick presentation of what's going to happen in this world for the next 1.5 years. And then we have divided into 4 broad stories. This is the first ever forecast for carpet. There's no forecast for carpet being launched by any agencies in this world. There's no forecast available as such.
True.
Yeah, so this is the first forecast which we have made, keeping our manufacturers in mind, because they are the producers who will produce this. So you can ask questions at the end of the presentation at the Q&A section. 4 broad stories. Please focus on the stories. There will be 4 broad stories. One story will be talking about hyperlocal, the products which will be having a local value attached to it. I'll describe when we come to the story. Second story is talking about homers. This product will cater to them who's concentrating on home and home-based product. And where we talk about home, it's not about houses, it's beyond houses. And then we are talking about mindfulness, because the products which will focus on mindfulness. And the 4th category will talk about whimsical designs, which will actually talk about fantasy and the reminiscences of the older era. So let's move on. So first story, we are talking about homers. This will be the products to talk about them who will look forward product for home. And when we talk about home, we are talking about neo-sanctuary. That means they look forward for a safer place to be. And the safer place need not be just a house. It can be an office as home. It can be a car as home. It can be a picnic as home. So home can have a bigger explanation here as such. And you already know that there are a lot of celebrities who started planting and they started bringing in green at home, and it's going to impact us. So if you see, this is an office space, and this office space has a lot of green. This greenery is going to come on carpets. I will give you examples. I will give you the directions. Kindly start innovating on those directions, because that will help you to create products as lines. We'll also have products which will be focusing on micro trips. Now you see that the lockdowns are opening up. People will go for small trips. They need rugs, they need carpets, and this segment is for them. So we are talking about house plant prints. This will be the prints which are going to come on the carpet. How it will come? It will come like this. It will come on the products. It will come on the screens. It will come on the lighting. And this is how the rugs and carpets will be made. So think about green prints. Don't think about exotic prints, think about the home plants which will people put on home. And this greenery is absolutely required as part of design. The plants can be something which people can look at, so it can be a realistic plant or it can be abstractism of it. When we are talking about florals, we are not talking about flowers, we are talking about endless flowers. So if you see that these carpets are not square, they are cut in particular direction, so it looks like a larger space when you are talking about space. So think about irregular patterns, because that's where everybody look at home. They are bored with your square carpet or round carpet. Carpets has to innovate on the form. And that's where everybody looks forward for the product. A good design and good symbol is coming as daisy. Daisy is a symbol of happiness, and it's going to come on your product, and it's going to come everywhere, right from the mug to the small fabric, and it's going to come on carpets. So think about nice, happy daisy flowers to come on the products. We are also talking about exoticness. We are talking about animals and species, exotic species, because now we cannot go out, but we like to have a piece of a sea to come at home. So we need carpets where we will require all those species on the carpet. Flowers goes off, we get birds. Birds will be a very important part to be in the carpet. It can be abstract birds or it can be realistic birds, but birds will be a very important part for carpet. The birds can move into feathers, because feathers will be a very important part of the boho. We are looking forward to fly out of home, and this is exactly where we are focusing on. Think about feather motifs, think about abstract feather motifs, or something called feather tail. What you are seeing at the end is abstract feather tail. So feather tail motifs are going to come in the trend. You will see a lot of bright color carpets coming in. Bright colors, because we require colors at home at this moment. Absolutely bored for 5 months being locked down. We require colors at home. And everybody requires colors at home because winter is approaching. And then this is the color carpets comes in abstract form. It comes in multiple direction. It can come in cushions and carpets. But also many of these buyers will look for colors from the accessories rather than from the carpets. So you will see accessories becoming colorful, like the cushions becomes colorful, the refrigerator becomes colorful, but the carpet becomes colorless. So it depends on the approach on the buyer. There will be pure classic checks which comes in carpets. You can go for the basic British or Scottish checks. This is going to come on the carpet also, because the furnitures will become colorful, but the carpet becomes monochrome. The squares and forms which will come on carpet at large. Also a big domain which we have not talked about till now is a domain for allowing people to sleep well. After 5 months being at home, everybody will have a problem with sleeplessness. In America, there's a big problem of sleeplessness. Across the world, this is a problem. So carpets will be a very important part. You will have a carpet to heat up. You will have a very interesting sloth motifs to come on carpet. And the carpet and the rugs will become something called sleep aid. So sleeping aid or aromatic carpets will be a very important part to talk about. Rugs will be also allowing people to exercise. So think about technical products rather than only decorative products. Think about very important mats which someone can carry to office, or someone can practice yoga or squats at home. This can be rolled in and carrying. And this is made in eco-friendly materials called nitrile. It's an eco-friendly rubber. We come to the other category. It's called whimsical remnants. In whimsical remnants, we are talking about fantasy. We are talking about getting back to our direction. Many individuals, like this quote designed by Nikume Anunko. This is a very interesting quote designed on the basis of glitch. And this is absolutely whimsical, because we never saw this kind of quotes being worn around. So interesting designs will come, like this company called DataWeave. DataWeave is actually printing your data. So if you give them corrupted data, they print these data into particular patterns. Think about this in carpet, where a consumer is involved to create their own pattern. Interesting fantasy world is coming in. This is Christian Dior's presentation, the recent Christian Dior Autumn Winter presentation. And they have presented the whole collection like a fantasy world. Fantasy is going to come in carpet. How it is going to come in carpet? It's going to come in the shapes of mermaid. Mermaids are going to be a big trend direction. Think about mermaids being printed everywhere. Also, it will come like a very interesting shadow effect. We cannot go out, but we can get the shadow of a tree back at home with carpets. A beautiful carpet designs by Tanya. And these are very interesting ways. So the first carpet says branches and the second one is rainstorm. Think about designs which can actually bring in trees inside, plants inside. like these leaf patterns, which looks abstract, but very interesting to have it in carpet. You can also go for this kind of a deep dive where there's a camouflage print, which looks like a shadow effect on the carpet. Another interesting direction which is coming out is mushrooms. I don't know how many of you know, but there is a mushroom retreat in Jamaica, and they treat individuals with mushrooms. So if you are near to Jamaica, you should go there. But this mushroom comes in products. So you will see mushrooms coming printed on carpet, because mushrooms are a symbol of safety. It's a symbol of security. It's also a symbol of intoxication. So there will be a lot of wild mushrooms coming on the product. It can come on carpets, it can come on cushions, and a darker background or a lighter background as such. And then you will have a lot of celestial motifs come in products, because we are talking about mysticism. Celestials will be a very important part to print. You will get a lot of celestial motifs being embroidered on the product, on a carpet or rug. And also you will have celestial motifs printed on the product. And if you're thinking about a carpet, think about a very interesting celestial printed carpet. And this is where the direction is going to move. A half lunar moon, or the moon's different stages of moon, will be an important part to print on carpet, because we are talking about mysticism, we are talking about fantasy, and moon cannot be avoided as part. Kids room, think about bringing in sun and moon in kids room. Think about creating very interesting rugs with embroidery and patchworks in the kids room. Also, exotic animals are going to come back. Exotic animals will not be realistic animals, but will look like a tribal art. Very interesting tribal art prints are going to come on carpet. You should think about this direction. And prints, especially the leopard print is going to come. Interestingly, leopard print gives an impression of safari. So the moment we are thinking about going out, leopard gives an impression of going out somewhere to travel across. Leopard is going to be a big print revolution now. Think about leopard printed carpets. Leopard print is going to go on black and white, and this black and white print, we call them a little bit about a Dalmatian print. Dalmatian prints will also come on the products, right from the carpets to the products. We'll also have a big oversized zebra print. Think about all those things which are exotic, which at this moment we cannot access. And those materials will be printed on carpet, because we would like to have that experience at home. So zebra print is something which is going to come. A lot of handcrafted motifs in monochrome is going to come. So this very basic motif, what you see Lorona has done, is a motif of a tribal art, which has come in a black and white. It's not brighter color, it's very subtle. This is going to come in trend a lot. And technology, when we are talking about techniques and new techniques, so Ducoupe is a very interesting French technique where we are bringing in the old prints back on the products. Like what you see here is not a painting. These are all prints available on a book or magazine, which are getting printed back on the products. So Ducoupe is a basic interesting material. This can be used in carpets also as a part. It is done in products as such, already done in products. So they are doing it. So Ducoupe can be practiced on carpet. A very interesting Japanese art called kintsugi. Kintsugi is a very interesting Japanese philosophy, where they are talking about not throwing off anything. So it's basically a remembrance and reminiscence, where the ceramics are being sealed with gold. And this is going to come in carpet, where the fabrics will not be stitched or patched. They will be fixed with gold or golden materials as such. It can be zari, it can be anything else. So this is a very interesting kintsugi throw pillow. It talks about the patches and the sense of kintsugi, and the traditional arts are going to come out as such. So this is how it comes on carpet. Terrazzo print will be very interesting. So terrazzo has been there with us for almost 2 seasons. Terrazzo is going to come in everywhere. Terrazzo is becoming colorful. Terrazzo is basically throwing off ceramics into cements and putting up together, but this terrazzo is invented in different way. So if you see that this side, that's basically a floor mat made out of tires, and the tires are creating the terrazzo print. That is a discarded leather being converted into furniture. Now, how this will come in the carpet is this. The carpets are also going to have a terrazzo print on top of it, or it can be tufted. Very interesting theme called hyperlocal. I kept it at the middle because hyperlocal is a very important thing. Think about local circular economy. Think about things which you are getting at your space. I don't know how many of you know that. If you are from Uttar Pradesh, you will know that there is a very interesting perfume called Gili Mitti. A wet land, this Gili Mitti perfume, last year it was re-innovated. because it was there, but nobody even thought of. So last year onwards, they started producing telemetry back again. And this is a smell of fresh rain. And this is a very interesting author, which is being reintroduced in the brand. So it's a smell of a fresh rain. And this is what hyperlocal is going to be. A very interesting product called Fool. This Fool basically takes the flowers from the temple, uses the villagers to convert them into incense sticks. Think about local supply chain. Think about materials available near to your home. Think about materials in stock. Then convert them into interesting products. And that is where it's going to happen as part of it. In UP, again, a very rich state with a lot of craft. In UP, there's a very interesting craft called black pottery in Nizamabad. Black pottery used to be a very interesting craft as such. Now it's getting renovated back and it's coming in trend. Nobody knew that there's a black pottery in the middle of India. We used to think that black pottery comes from Northeast, but it's there in the middle of India. And they does a nice etching. Like this particular direction from Korean potagi. Potagi is basically a direction of a clothing joining technique. It's almost like a shadow work of Lucknow chicken curry shadow work, but it's a patchwork, which is basically a kind of a collage. And it's a very semi-transparent collage. Now this potagi is coming on product. How is going to come on carpet? This is how it's going to come. It looks like layers. It looks like different ways of presentation. Think about this on your product. I'm trying to show you the techniques. We are trying to present you the techniques which are going to break in 21, 22 also. Think about how you'll convert them into carpets. Think about this potagi style, how it will convert into pillows. And this is what is going to happen as such. It's a very interesting, another way of doing it. It's a very interesting craft called hooked rug. Hooking is a very interesting technique which started in Yorkshire in Britain, but it's there across. In between, it went out of trend, but now, again, we are going back to our traditional trend. So they started doing hooked rug back again. Think about your direction, what you have at your home. These are a hooked rug, very interesting stool. Now, another good direction is this, a carpet which can interact with you. I don't see much carpet coming from India which can interact with the consumer other than sitting on top of it. So if you see that, it's a beautiful carpet where it is a play field for the children. Imagine you are involving children at home, and that is a big problem for the family. So this very interesting design actually creates a small village. A small village is from the manufacturer's end, and he is allowing the consumers to understand his village as part of it. So localization of your map can come on the carpet. It can come in different ways. And this is what is going to happen for the carpet thing. Think about your local scenario. Think about a small village where you grew. Put that village on the product, and that's where the trend is going to move it. A very interesting trend called mindfulness or mindful. We are not talking about yoga. We are talking about products. So when we talk about mindful, we are trying to tell you to think positive. Think positive towards sustainability, towards environment and society. So this project, what I am projecting here, is very close to my heart. It happened in Watamu in Kenya. A very interesting product where the Kenyans, the people in Watamu had a big problem of the shoes being thrown off in the sea. And they didn't know what to do with these shoes being thrown off. So they learned to take these shoes out and create these beautiful products out of the thrown out of shoe in the sea. So mindfulness is this. It's not about sitting and doing yoga, but it's also about understanding the local essences and trying to kill the environment with these basic things. This is a very interesting product. It's called loofah collection. We know that this loofah is available in abundance in our country, but we never thought of creating a product out of it. So think about creating a thermoflask with a loofah outside, because if thermoflask gets hot. So if the loofah is there, it makes it much holdable. Think about this kind of local innovations as part of it. This loofah can create a wall, loofah can create a table, and loofah can also create a light. So this is a very humble basic product which will be there in every village in India. Why we cannot do this? And this is where our mindfulness comes in. We always look towards ways to the trend. Why can't we create ourselves? Very interesting pattern is this one, where the botanical prints are being created with a local leaf. Take your local leaf, create prints out of those local leaves rather than creating a silk screen. And these are very important direction. We call them the botanical imprint, where the print is actually created by the flower original one. And we are not using any dye for that. Insects, caring for the insects will be a very important part, especially bee. So caring for the insects and bee is going to be a big trend for 21 and 22. Everyone is talking about bee, but nobody is doing anything much about the bee. Let's do something on the B. Let's print them at least on the product to spread the awareness. So the awareness-based products are going to come. Very interesting. B cushions will come. B mattresses can come, and B can also make you happy. So be happy can be a good scenario as such. Llama print is going to be everywhere. So if you know llama, you know that llama is a very happy animal. And then llama can smile. And if you know that there's a very interesting choreographer called Alan Schufer and little sister Noah has come out a song on llama. And that is one of the most popular songs among the millennials now. So think about llama, because llama is a happiness animal and everybody is looking forward for this kind of happiness. So llama print is going to come on products. And then give some thank yous to all. So these thank you t-shirts are becoming very popular. These thank yous are going to come everywhere. Think about a very interesting thank you message printed on your carpet. So this is called a thank you rainbow. These thank you rainbows are coming on the bed sheets, and it is coming at home. And this has become a symbol for giving a thank you to people who has cared for you. Not only the frontline workers, but your parents, your children, your partner. Thank everybody by buying it. So think about this kind of products. This is a thank you rug, and very interesting thank you rug by Oreo. Now another direction comes, which is very distinct direction for the carpet market, and I think this is going to be the future. So we both thought that eco-friendly products are going to be a very interesting product to add on. So we'll talk a little bit about it. This material is called EcoNeil. EcoNeil is basically a fiber. You can buy EcoNeil. EcoNeil is a branded product. You can buy EcoNeil. EcoNeil is a fiber which is basically produced from the river nets, the fishermen's nets. So they collect nets and plastics from the sea, converts them into plastic thread. Very interesting thread. So this is first time EcoNeil collaborated and created, Aquafil and EcoNeil collaborated and created this carpet called Edge Carpet, and which was basically presented in the show. It was the first time they have presented in 2017. And these products are now everywhere. So you can access EcoNeil to create eco-friendly product. It's a sustainable product and very interesting product. So they have the fibers, you can use them. And then recently, very recently, they have used it in multiple shows. So this is 2017's show. And then in the show, they have done that. And this was basically the recent show in 2020 show. So you can see any colors is possible in EcoNeil. You can create a sustainable materials as such. Also, this is a very interesting product. It's called, it's done by a design studio called Pottery Burn Team, and they have come out with this beautiful watercolor print on top of a carpet. Basically, it's a rug. And they have just launched it. So the material is EcoNeil. So EcoNeil, you can see that it can be used outdoor. It can be also used indoor. I'm not promoting EcoNeil because EcoNeil type of products are also available in market. Think about sustainable fiber. And then if you are thinking about dyes, this is another direction to create dyes. So what Natsai has done, she has done a beautiful printing using bacteria. So this is no more a dye, this is no more a pigment, this is not going to damage the environment, and this is basically a bacteria culture on the fabric. And this is where the directions are moving. Think about products in this basis. This is how the print looks. It looks just amazing like a tie and dye, but this is done by bacteria culture. No dye here. Think about mending. We call them as a visual mending. So mending is basically repairing the product. Don't think that the people will buy your fresh carpet. Think about starting a repairing shop. There's no harm in starting a repairing shop. Tell people to send you back the carpets, you repair and ask for money for repairment. Many designers are doing that. So this is what North Face has done. North Face has started a workshop where they will repair North Face's used products. You think about carpets, and then you know that people will not invest that much of money to buy a fresh carpet. Why don't you do a mending for those carpets? So mending or visible mending becomes a very big trend. So this is called visible mending. That means the stitching has to be visible outside so that it can talk about the story of repairing. Think about a time when we learned about repairing where stitching will not be seen. Now we are at a time to show that we are repairing and putting the product back to our space. Slow fashion is becoming a big trend. So this is a very interesting workshop. Molly takes this workshop that she teaches mending to all. Why can't we do this for carpet? Why can't someone from the carpet industry teach us how to mend a carpet at home? Because then your branding is going to spread across. So this is what is happening. This is called a Japanese Boro style. Japanese Boro is a running stitch. It's just like our Kantha stitch. And this is how they are doing the patchwork. This is cut from the different fabric. fixed on a different fabric. Think about repairing carpets. This is how the products are coming in, where the repairing is not visible, but it looks interesting. And this is called Japanese sashiko. It's very interesting. Sashiko stitch is going to come. Think about doing sashiko on your carpet, and this is where the trend is moving. And I would like to end it with this very beautiful carpet. This is a carpet or a rug made by Rami and Vision. And this carpet is actually made by used fabric. These are used blankets, which we throw every winter. So these blankets are being used and then converted into beautiful carpet as this. Why can't we think about it? Why we have not thought about it in India, right? And this is where your innovation is going to go. Big talks will not help. You have to walk on the ground. And this is where the innovation. And if you think that this is cheap and this is not expensive, let me tell you, this per carpet is 10,000 euro. And it is made in order. So that means they will pay you in advance and then you will make this carpet. And the carpet should talk about the stories about these particular rugs being used here. You will also talk about sensual designs, because think about keeping fringes in the carpets, because everybody like to have fringes. Everybody like to have some sensual elements. A carpet without a fringes is a dead carpet, because you cannot do anything with that carpet. You cannot play with those fringes. And fringes becomes a part of our sensuality in life. This kind of products are coming. I'd like to show you a very interesting whimsical product where people wants to put their feet into some feeling, which feels like a grass. And this is actually a cushion chair, nothing else. So think about carpets where the carpets will have textures. Think about carpets which will give you touch and feel. Think about carpets which will talk to you. Think about a very conversational carpet. Don't think about a blank print on the carpet. So we talked about 4 themes, very interesting 4 broad themes, and then you can work on any other themes. I will suggest you not to take all the themes and try to create products of all the themes. Focus on one kind of customer, and that's very important. These are the colors which are going to come. These are the 3 broad color schemes which are going to come. A set of colors we call as a color of dream. These are very mindful colors, very comfortable colors. These are all powdered. These are not brighter. There's only one bright shade in it because it's the color of the light, but otherwise it's an absolutely color of dream. It allows people to think broad. And then the second layer of color is basically the color of brightness. So if anybody is having a happy home, they wants to have a bright color home, just like my wall in the back, you can go for these brighter colors as such, because it immediately brings in a joy and happiness. Think about that kind of color, because your consumer can look at it. And then you have a color with purpose. Color of purpose is basically a mindful color where you are talking about sustainability, you're talking about recycling, you are talking about products being reused. Think about a color of teal, think about colors of art, think about colors of skin or colors of lime. This is where the colors are going to move. These are 3 broad schemes of color which are going to take over the world for next 1.5 years. So if you see that, this is what the design direction is going to go. A broader design direction. We are talking about 4 perspectives, repurposed, eco-friendly, and then we have a fantasy, and then we have function and a hyper-local product as part of it. So I'll just hand over to Dr. Shalini. She will explain you a little bit about this. Dr. Shalini, over to Dr. Shalini.
Unmute yourself, madam. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Kaustav. That was quite comprehensive. That's the fastest we could do. This is just to, trend insights and to looking at what trends are going to be in future is actually about a lot about mindsets. It's a lot about directions, clear directions, and translating those directions into detailing with specific kind of input, so that everybody who is a part and parcel of that value chain, whether it's a manufacturer or a marketing person or whoever it may be, can get clear directions. And that is the purpose of where we belong, we come in for. We are trained for that. And as Vision Next, this is what you saw was just a little preview and insight. But going ahead, this is what we intend to do for various sectors. We may begin with one sector and eventually expand to other sectors. So as Kaustav explained to you, we are in the part of circular economy, and whatever we do, it all boils down to and comes back to how we can make it holistic and wholesome, and therefore more purposeful and value-centered. So on that note, BND's design directions 21-22 for you. Thank you.
Really, I'm amazed. Dr. Kastava, you said the time, you have finished 2 minutes before. Okay.
Wow.
And I can say one thing with full conviction that with this vision of NIFT, Carpet Export Promotion Council along with entire industry with you, and really we are the, indebted to you. You are the visionary, NIFT is visionary, you are the torch bearer. In fact, our designers are really visionary. I am really thankful to our DC Sahab, Sant Banu Sahab, who is fortunately your DG and my development commissioner. So when I requested him, he said, why you are not taking a NIFT on the platform? Really, I would have felt very guilty if I would have not invited you. Really, I am very thankful to you. And, as you mentioned, storytelling is very important part, Without a story, if you are able to spell out the story of any product, you will be able to sell 10 times more than whatever the product you are having. And really, I would like to, CEPC would like to be part of your vision next, which is the vision of our visionary Prime Minister. And really, we will be with you, sir. And you people are best, I can say. I can see here Dr. Rajnikant, who got Padam Shri for the, Padam Shri for the handicraft. And he is also here. Sir, we are also displaying GI pavilion here during our show, especially for GI product of 7 GI product, what we are having now. And, we are going to showcase, we have already applied for the another product also for the GI. And sir, I am very much impressed with the material you have shown, the design you have shown, and during the last fair, in fact, in Varanasi, I have seen some people they have produced a carpet with the waste material like sari and others, and that can be done really marvelous. You are going to serve the double purpose. You are using the waste material, so you are reducing your waste, and you are doing the innovation part. And definitely, I can say to the viewers, this is just a glimpse from NIFT, and so many things are yet to come. And I am really, we will be in touch with NIFT, and we will do together, sir. We have lot of things to do together. Really. And thanks.
Yes, you're absolutely right. We are
thanks.
Mr. Shanti.
Yes, we are going to join your hand, and we are not going to leave you also. So you will visit our show also. You can see what our people. You can now I am saying wow. You will say after seeing the product, wow, our people are doing lot of work, lot of things we are doing.
Absolutely.
And now we have the other speaker, next speaker. I would have not seen the watch when you people were giving the present. I thought, okay, let it go. I'm not going to stop them. So we are having Miss Bindu Rajan, who is center head of National Institute of Design. So she is going to discuss about various design of the carpet. Over to you, Binduji. It's really a learning process for entire industry, media and all the people, buyers also. Binduji, you can unmute yourself, and yes, you can unmute. If now you will be able to. Yes, Binduji, welcome to you.
Thank you. Good evening. My first would be the congratulations to my design colleagues Shalini and Kaushik. Very great and a very nice cover up. A good detailed one. I can see there's been a lot of passion and very vivaciously presented. Congratulations to you all. Of course, in this sector, NID, I would start with my humble submission that we have not done a lot of work on in the carpet sector. Into some areas, yes, we have. And I start with my fact that, of course, a little brief introduction in terms of the fact that I would be even presenting is I am a textile person and presently with NID. Now for a long time, I'm heading the Delhi office. So with this, I say that what is my passion? I work more with the craft sector, and that's where I loved working on it. And I would like to get about earlier the first presenters, Mr. Deepak Gaba, then Fiona, and almost all of you have touched upon that point. But give me a second, I'll just start sharing my screen and then makes it a little more easy for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a second. Is it, can you see it? Is it possible?
Yes, yes, it's sharing, it's sharing.
It's sharing. So, but I cannot see anyone just now, so I do something about it. Okay, now it's better. Okay. Is it possible, fine for you all?
Yes, yes, it's all right. Let it open. Let it open.
Yeah. Okay. So how I would say it is the understanding under the foot, how we talk about it. And then I was researching, as I said, I realized it was the first carpet was actually made in the 4th or the 5th century. And of course, it was discovered in 1949. I do know there are people.
Binduji, you share your PPT again. It's not coming now.
Again, it's not coming.
No. Just it's showing.
Okay. Is it now?
No, not now.
Give me a second.
Just close it, then again start. Again share. Just stop sharing, then you can start again. Share again. Yeah, now you share again. Or should I share from here? I have your presentation. Yeah, it's okay. Start presentation. And you have 15 minutes with you. You are mute. Unmute yourself. Binduji, you are mute. Unmute yourself. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Done.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I go, and I was just saying that the first carpet I realized and I researched was in the 4th and the 5th century.
You come in presentation mode.
Then the entire thing goes off. That's why I did not do that.
No, full screen. It is here. Isko slide show kijiye. Yes.
Okay. Done. I think that's fine.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So now when I talk about in this post-COVID, I know my colleagues have talked about it, but what really touched us, me as a designer, it has to be a sustainable design, and that that means a friendly impact on the environment. The earlier quote, which talks about less is more by the German American, would definitely be back. And what we are talking about, that means superfluous, meaningless, and the move will be all towards the natural side. The new well-being, I'd say, we say home hub. Now home is not only the home for heart, it is office, gym, everything is in home. There'll be conscious consumption. We talk about the world feels more smaller now, everything will feel connected. We will be having, but at the same time, we'll be all able to find balance. So, and 90s rerun is something I have gathered. So now why I was setting it up, that this is the way the pace is where we are now. And with this, the new minimalistic style is what we are talking about. With this in mind, that means this is the new philosophy. But it is not just the absence of few things which you are talking about. It is not just language. It is actually embracing all aspects of life. And few characteristics of that, which is you all would have researched yourself, but I just thought of these few points. Less is more. Focus on the like the tactility and materials, beauty in the imperfection part of it, and the clean, very hard geometrical lines would be replaced by the mix of very softer, primitive sculptural shapes. Natural materials definitely going to be in on that. So we have few things with the keywords. We thought as designers, we always work on the inspiration. I thought while I was seeing into this, I saw one of my work rather present a very recent work with a craft, a handloom community. We all know about it in Javaja because it's for client. Natural wool, talking about simple lines, tactile, very. So this is a look, the soft look, all that is talking about would be in Mobo. Another this is a type of thing which I feel look at and more on that. I go further on this. We talked about we say that we'll talk about craft, our culture and everything. So that's in this time when we have been into the pandemic, we have all been there. We need to be celebrating us and what is comprising us, as I say, culture, cuisines, craft skills, handloom patterns, paintings, art form, natural environment. I go further on it and just taking a very interesting example from the how we can combine all these inspiration points. One interesting example is Ipan, the folk art in Uttarakhand. There are varied art forms there, but I found it quite interesting in how this can be even taken forward, which has that you can see that there's no hard geometrical lines. All what I talked about earlier in terms of themes and briefs, we can see that happening or being practiced in this art and form. These are the few patterns from the same thing. They can be further taken and inspired and got into the carpet is how I look at it as a major role. Now there are few following slides would be some of the work which is done by students with the different industries. Won't name them, but there are people who have done and how an inspiration is taken forward. They research on it, they talk about all these varied points, and the trends are being discussed as in the sense the design language changes, influences, materials, all these looks and everything is being the research by the students and when the designers work on it. The brainstorming session, our usual sheet on our design sheets is there. So when going further, if I have to adapt or we have to adapt a design into the carpet, there can be varied approaches and material approaches is the first one which I talk about. Natural fibers and recycled material, and as I said, the sustainable, environmental, responsible options needs to be adopted. And variations, as like colleague Amit Jain also talked about, combining varied raw materials, varied weaving styles. So this is how interesting work, which is one of the student has done it, the combinations of pile and loops to create a texture, to create the patterns there. Going further on this only, by gradation of color mixing. So there's some practical work which is done by the students to show how variations can be done, created. Similar line, that means is the combinations of the weaving structure and varied, it's a basket of textures which we are talking about there. And they're combining with varied natural fibers, and that's how we go further on the creating the patterns or recreating the inspirations of the design and theme which we have taken. This is how a contrast of texture can be created by loop and pile and count, material count. Some interesting contrasts of textures. They are the pictures and the actual designs of carpets reproduced later. some unique paper cutouts. As I said, that they can have to be very simple structural forms, which will be more in vogue, and they have to be taken to have more close to oneself. That's how it would be. Interesting. Another ways and approaches to create the textures. Sure, you can see that. When we further go on to the color, form and composition and how a design can be interpreted and taken, the first approach, that's like one of them, a theme or a mood board which we usually create, is created by the exporters, by the manufacturers themselves, and how they can be further adapted by the design thing. The different way of creating a design into by pixelation, how it can be made innovatively into varied ways. There can be varied approaches to make a design, and take inspiration. One is the actual presentation and then taking in this manner. By color blocking. Interestingly, by exploration of the same design in the flat patterns, and then by making grids and squares, and how it is to be interestingly created. And I'm sure people must be doing it, but I thought combining it with the materials, textures and weaving patterns could be a very interesting way of approaching these things. Inspiration from the traditional paintings, traditional styles of weaving patterns, they can be varied, they can be adapted in the carpet. Another interesting approach is from a painting, which I did share. This could be the inspiration points. How interesting this is, a Rajasthani painting, you all know about it. Talk about the essence which are there, sorry. The journey, how it can be by pixelation, color blocking, and it is a design is being created. Another range of patterns from the same first picture, it has been created. And that's the these are final collection from that one particular painting and how it's been taken ahead on that. So they can, so one theme, one pattern treated into a varied manner is an approach should be and can be taken. And this is one of the final product which is Boss created in this. Quick one, we all know that this is from the from another style, which is the graphic, tribal, abstract, geometrical, and then a varied of cushions which are being created there and can be adapted in the carpet. That's how it is. So this is how I would end here, and with my acknowledgement to my colleagues Vijay, Sucharita, and the students who are now of course graduated. So that's it. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Unmute yourself, Sanjeev.
Sorry. So thank you, Binduji. In fact, it was a fabulous presentation, and I would like to inform the audience that Om Prakash Prahaladka Saab, Chairman of Handicraft and Sector Skill Council, former Chairman of EPCH, is also here. We welcome you, sir. And you know, Binduji, I have seen one word, pixel. Pixel, you know, that taken round so many in your slide. Till now, I was only knowing that pixel is used for camera and photography. So how it can be used in the carpet, you know, that this is very new for me. And it was, you know, you have the lovely team. It was a wonderful presentation, and definitely it is going to enlighten our people. And just we are, you know, on the concluding session mode now. So I would like to request General Secretary of BAA, Anchalji, to share few words within 3 minutes. So Anchalji, sorry for there is a time constraint, you know, and we are running 10 minutes late from our schedule. So Anchalji, please.
Thank you so much. In fact, it's been one of the most exciting webinars that I've seen today. And knowing that it's already 9:15, so we will definitely want to keep this short. I must say our panelists have just done an absolutely fabulous work. I mean, there is no second word that comes to my mind except that it's been a fantastic presentation, starting where Deepak talked about the sourcing from India, and then Fiona and Mikey talked about the trends in the outside countries. And absolutely, with Dr. Kostev and Shalini taking on trends and also Bindu taking on trends, it's been a very, very insightful webinar for us today. What I really wanted to talk about, we've learned so much about what we can do, how we can do things, why we need innovation, and what we can do to be one up in the world today. My question today that comes to the mind is to our exporters. If I take the example of US is the single country to which we are exporting a third of our complete carpet and floor covering exports. If we see it from the US perspective, India is the largest sourcing destination from for them into the US, followed by China and Turkey. But if we see the growth, then Turkey is growing much faster than the growth of imports from China for them. So we know that somewhere, slowly and gradually, we are at the risk of losing our topmost position in a country that imports a third of our carpet and floor coverings in India. Now, what can we do today? What can we do today to make sure that we retain that position, not only in the US, but the entire world economy? The only thing that we can do today is definitely what we talk about trends, talk about innovation, talk about technology. But the question is for our exporters, when it comes to execution, can we execute them in a manner which is seamless? हम लोग सुंदर चीजें बना देंगे, but अगर हम उनको 180 दिन में देंगे, nobody is going to buy them.
Correct.
If we use new styles of raw materials, sustainable products that we're talking about, water hyacinth, seagrass, but if we're able to not give them in the correct quality, then what's the point? So what India really needs today is less of excuses and more of ease of business towards the world. We definitely need to be very, very focused on our execution, because ideas without execution is absolutely nothing in today's date and time. So although we've got such great trends, we're talking about technology, we have innovation behind us, we are a hub of sustainable products as the entire world knows us to be. But if we are not able to execute them well, then all efforts, all ideas have gone to waste. So my only request to all our exporter community is, when we are the hub, when we are the single strongest country in floor coverings across the world, we need to leverage. We can't be complacent.
Yeah.
Just because we are up there, we can't be complacent today. We have to keep working, we have to keep innovating, we have to keep touching and raising our bars higher and higher every time to be able to reach to a point where nobody can look forward. We always have to look forward, move one step ahead, rather than letting people take us over. And Turkey is quickly going to take us over if we don't act today. They have faster lead times. Being a European country, they're very, very conscious about the quality. They are closer in terms of the geographic locations to Europe and to US. So they have a lot of advantage over India. India needs to stop using its disadvantages and start working how to seamlessly convert them into becoming advantages for India. And this is all I rest my case today. Really, really, really amazing webinar, Sanjay ji. Thank you so much for having us all here today. And I would, in fact, on behalf of BAA, thank all our buying agents friend, all our exporter community, Praladka ji, Rohini ji from our knowledge committee who is here today. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Anjal ji. In fact, we are on the verge of the end of the session. So we have some scope of for the question answer, but very limited. You know, just I have received many questions from some of the buyers also. So many questions have been already answered during the presentation. One, Mr. Lee Sort has sent me a written request. So just I would like to read it out quickly. You know, I don't think Mr. Lee is here. If he's here, yes. Oh, yes. So Mr. Lee, would you like to read your question, or should I read? or you can ask quickly. Mr. Lee is from South Africa. Yeah, Mr. Lee, can you unmute yourself and raise your question? Yes, yes, yes.
Hi.
Welcome to India.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think most of my questions were already answered by the various panelists,
yes.
you know, and one of the main questions that I wanted to know is, you know, what will be the future trends with regards to shaped rugs? And one of the panelists mentioned that you know, that could be trending in the near future, which is what I think will happen. You know, it's something that machine manufactured rugs maybe can't mimic that easily because of the overlocking, etc. So I think for me, hand tufted shape rugs has potential for me. Regarding colors and that, I think that was all covered. And the one thing that I wanted to know, which I think was also covered, was the solid dyeing versus a brash dyeing. You know, I was wondering what the trends would be, but I think with that whole natural look, I think a brash dyeing and tie dyeing, etc., is going to be a big thing as well, rather than necessarily the solid colors. So I think generally all my questions were answered, but thanks for the opportunity, and thank you to the panelists and everybody that's had input. It's been really very informative. It's been a great afternoon, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. In fact, you know, we have some scope of only 5 questions, so you can quickly, you know, either write on your chat or raise your hand so that I can invite you. If you have any question, although I don't have any question, to be very honest, I am very much satisfied, more than satisfied. Yeah. Yes. So, any question from any of the audience? You can write in your chat box. Oh my God! In fact, everybody is fully satisfied. You can say over satisfied. So now, you know, I can move to the another, you know, last session. Before that, I just want to put my few words. In fact, you know, here almost 200 participants are exhibiting their fabulous products in various range, various color, design, and others. So definitely all our distinguished participants are going to receive the invitation from my side if they are not part of the exhibition. So, you know, they can visit there. Yeah. So I am getting one, Prerna Narayan. You have a question. Prerna, can you just raise your hand where you are so that I can see you? Miss Prerna, just Prerna, raise your hand. Raise your hand. You know, there is a here in the right. You know, there is a column for raising hand. I'm not able to see you, Prerna. Then only I can unmute you. Prerna, I can't see you. A lot of audience are here. You can write your question in the chat box. Prerna, in what way NIFT and NID can help exporter in regard to sustainable designing? It has been already discussed, Mr. Amit, during the presentation. Prerna, I'm not able to see you because, yeah, you type here. You type here your question. I will read it out. So, you know, in the meantime, by the time, you know, Prerna is typing, I would like to, you know, inform you we have fabulous design, and you know, till now, Anchal ji and you know, Salini ji, we have received almost 400 confirmation from buyer, and they are already interacting with the, you know, exhibitor since yesterday. So they are fixing the meeting. They are, you know, already दुकानें सज गई है. People are looking for that, and they are fixing the meeting. So I hope, you know, I wish all the exhibitor for a successful event. And you know, I can say this is यह एक झांकी है. This is just a glimpse, and so many things are even left. So we are going to organize similar kind of event, you know, in series of event, you can say, starting from day after tomorrow, and 5-6 event. I'm really thankful to the Development Commissioner of Office. They have already approved our 6 virtual events, Achal-ji, and we are going to do that, and that will be segment wise, USA based, Middle East based, then Latin America based. Yeah, I got the question from Prerna. I want to know how are these trained. Yeah, okay. I want to know how are these trained forecasting artisans going to do that. Of course, we are for them. We will be doing hand holding. I told you we are going to become the part of the NIFT Vision Next. So definitely it will be resolved. That is not the issue at all. And second question I got from Savita. Indian export need more robust. Okay, fine. This is just a suggestion. Finally, I would like to request our senior most COA member, Umesh Kumar Gupta ji. He is from Bhadoi and he is owner of Rug Gallery. Sir, it will be our privilege if you can just convey formal vote of thanks to all the delegates, dignitaries, media, and our panelists and the overseas buyers and the participants, our COA member, because without that, that is not going to, I'm not going to satisfied at all. So I'd like to request you, sir, please spare your time and extend the formal vote of thanks. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Good evening, everyone. Respected Miss Mudita Misra ji, ADC. Sri Siddhanath Singh, our dynamic chairman, Corona fighter. Mr. Umar Hamid, vice chairman, our colleague, all CEO member of CPC. ED Sanjay ji. Mr. Vishal Dhingra ji, Miss Achal Kansal ji, Mr. Deepak Gaba ji, Miss Fiona, Miss Mike Istvan, Miss Salini Sood Sehgal, Dr. Sen Gupta, all other guests who shared their valuable views, exhibitors, buyers, and friends. On behalf of the Carpet Export Promotion Council, I would like to thank all of you for sparing valuable time of your participation in today's webinar. I hope the webinar will be helpful for the exhibitor while providing the initial feedback on the current requirement of the overseas market on trend, color, and design. Thank you.
Yeah, so now we are just at the final word, you can say. I would like to request you once again, this is the cumulative effort of all the people, and I am really especially thankful. I can see some of the media friends are here, so thank you, Bindu ji. You have given a lovely presentation. Thanks a lot to you also, and all the people who were the part and parcel of this event. I got the confirmation of almost 400 people here for this webinar. I am very much delighted, and almost at one time people were around 200-300. So really, it was very useful, and we will take forward, sir. We will be coming to you with all kind of expert opinion, and in the due course of time. I am not going to leave you alone. I will take the various gems from the various corner of the country and the world. So we are not going to leave. Thank you, Subratri. Good night. Thank you. Sabah Khair.